Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight to honor a community treasure, Mike Byrne. I think all of us will agree that Mike's a special part of what makes our community a special place. Too often we don't celebrate the contributions of our community members who live their lives with a mission of helping their neighbors, their industry, their community, and their country along the way. And then we were faced with the moment one day where we wish we had taken the time to do it and say we love you. Mike is truly a person that we can all agree deserves recognition for his generosity of time, knowledge, friendships, and the dedication to making our way of life and communities resilient to a world that lacks the appreciation for rural America. Byrne jokes are a unique, simple, yet confounding, but will stick with you for years to come. Each one of us in this room, no doubt, has a Mike joke, an experience, a lesson Mike taught you even. Fair to say that more than a few of us in this room that are here tonight still ponder a Mikeism that has stuck with you for years. You were hoping to solve that so you can share the giddiness that Mike had when he told you his Mike joke. I wish you the best on that mission. There is no doubt a pot of laughter and gold at the end of that quest. You will notice that there's students here from Klamath Union High School from their videography program, along with Dan Stearns, that are recording this event. And the point is to try to make a lasting memory. We hope you take a few moments to tell a Mike story to the microphone and the camera that's in front of you. Tell a joke, maybe even ask for clarification of a Mike joke, or just to say thank you to Mike on camera. You should also be aware that Mike is mic'd up. All of tonight's conversations with Mike are being recorded. For those of you that have not talked yet to Mike, you have a distinct advantage over those of you who did talk to him and did not know that. Now for the great news, there will be an edited version of this event, the YouTube, the recordings, everything that is part of this night, including you, that will be shared on YouTube in the near future. As Matt said, he wishes he would have known this a lot sooner. Listening to Mike on repeat may be the only way some of us get his jokes. At the back of the room, you may have noticed a table with some documents on it. They are special recognition of Mike and his contributions that he has made to his family, the Byrne Ranch legacy, the cattle industry, our community, the county, state, and national scale levels, for which he deserves gratitude and appreciation. Portions of each will be read as part of our program, but we hope you will also take the time to look at the congressional record and the resolution of the state houses. We offer our sincere thanks to Congressman Bentz and LaMaffa, and to State Representatives Daly and Hadwick. Lots happening in politics right now, and they made this a priority. With that, a quick recognition of a few of our elected officials who have joined us to honor Mike tonight. Supervisor Jerry Byrne, back in this corner. MODOK Supervisor Ned Coe in this corner. State Senator Megan Daly in the back. And former State Senator Brian Daly. Please enjoy yourselves, grab some appetizers and a drink, say hi to Mike and tell a story or two to the camera. We have a list of speakers that have been asked to keep it 3 to 5 minutes. No one has ever had a 3 to 5 minute conversation with Mike Byrne. So with that, we hope that all of you have an enjoyable night. And we're going to ask Brad Staub to come and do a invocation over us.
When I came home from college in '97, Mike was one of those guys that always was looking for the youth to come up and to try to bring somebody in to follow in footsteps. And he made it a point with me to include me. So between he and Gary Wright, they threw me into the middle of the power committee at Klamath Water Users and started trucking me around and trying to put me in places where I would make relationships, encouraging me to do meetings wherever they might be. And it wasn't just power, it was water. It was all the things that we deal with here in the Klamath Basin, and just trying to become a recognizable face and somebody that people could talk to, because let's face it, we don't have a lot of that coming behind us right now, and it's a little bit scary. But Mike always was looking for that, and so he put a lot of that faith into me, and it meant letters of recommendation. It meant putting me in meetings that a lot of people would like to have been in, that he included me in, and I was grateful for that exposure and that faith in me. So one of the things that Mike and I did together was when we were dealing with the PUC in California, we were trying to get our power rates secured again for 2006 increase that was coming. And so this meant a lot of trips down to the PUC, meeting with all the regulators and administrative law judges and other things. And so one of the times Mike said, "I'll take you down." What that meant was we're going to take Mike's pickup. That also meant that Mike wasn't going to drive. He expected you to drive. And it meant that it was going to be an adventure, and that's what it was. And so we got into Mike's pickup, and we took off out of here one spring morning early and headed down the hill. And just before we crested over into Redding on that downhill stretch, well, we were on that downhill stretch, I guess, and all of a sudden there's a CHP, and we knew we were had. And so we start hitting the jake brake. That was the pickup that had the jake brake that Mike had. We hit the jake brake, and we started slowing her down, pulled over. And so this CHP came up and kind of looked through the window, and Mike's he's concerned, but he's a little bit amused by all this. And you can only imagine what was going through my head. Wonder if the taillights work. We might not have a tailgate. There could be bailing plane dragging behind you. We didn't know how fast we were going because the speedometer didn't work. Fortunately, he came up and he asked for my driver's license, and I gave it to him, and I knew what was coming next, and I was scared to death because Mike's pickup looked a lot like his office. So the back seat of the pickup, Mike goes looking for the registration and the insurance card, and underneath the dog and in between some newspapers and a couple magazines and some cow records, and I don't know what else was there, but Mike pulls out the registration. Who would have believed that, right? Unless you knew Mike Byrne. So next is the insurance card, and I swear that he reached over and he reached into a carton that held crackers in it and pulled it out of there. And that cop looked at us like he had just pulled a toy out of a cereal box, right? Hands it to him, and so off we go. This cop gives us a warning because quite honestly, he's pretty amused that this actually worked out for us. So we headed on down into San Francisco and had a day of meetings and kind of celebrated the day. I don't know that we ever had a win day in San Francisco, but we celebrated getting there without a ticket. And we'd come rolling down the street amongst all the sky rises, and Mike would say, "Give her the brakes." Downshift that pickup and let the engine brake take over, and people turn around on the sidewalks and look over at us like, what in the hell is going on? And that is the happiest that guy ever looked. Just to have all those heads turning, and he could command attention of anybody, anywhere, even on the streets of San Francisco. But I'll tell you what, it goes back to the thing, and you've heard it said so many times here tonight about being memorable. And that's the one thing that Mike Byrne is to everyone that's ever known him. Whether you knew him or you didn't know him, you knew you wanted to know him. And it didn't matter what walk of life that was, whether that was a far-leaning liberal, whether it was somebody that was working in the fields, it didn't matter. Across all walks of life, Mike has made connections. And they're special to each and every one of us, and they're meaningful to this community, to the people here in this room and beyond that couldn't be here tonight. And we're fortunate to be able to celebrate that with you, Mike, and say thank you. And the most memorable thing out of all of this is the legacy that you're leaving with your kids and your grandchildren in the Robert A. Byrne Ranch. You've done a fine job, my friend, and we appreciate all that you've done.